Hello everybody, it's Robbie Stevens here, also known as DJ Rob the Metal Guy, and I'm here with an album review. This album review is for Helloween's new album, My God-Given Right, people. Check it out, the new album from Helloween. 30-something years of making music. That is amazing. This new release is a continuation, in my opinion, of their most recent works in the past, I'd say, 7 years. And this band has definitely had a long and important history, and that's going to play into this album review today. So before I begin specifically talking about this album, I want to kind of touch upon Helloween's history. Now, I divide Helloween's whole entire catalog history into 3 periods. You have the Kai Hansen, the early years of Helloween when Kai Hansen was singing and playing guitar. That's the first EP, Walls of Jericho. And I guess you would say their style was more speed metal, but there was that, again, the hints of power metal. But that didn't come, in my opinion, to full effect until I'd say the second album. Or not the second album, the second period, excuse me, which, well actually, yeah, it was the second full-length album, which I have right here, Keeper of the Seven Keys, and I like to call this the Michael Kiske period, because that's the singer that came in on this album. Kai Hansen focused on guitar. Now, again, this is considered to be, I guess you would say, the band's opus. This is their quintessential album, Keeper of the Seven Keys Part 1 and then Part 2. And that really defines Helloween. You know, they come to be the pioneering power metal band, you know, an influence among so many young metal bands that you can say. And then after, what was it, Michael Kiske left, you had Andy Duris come in, and that is the third period of Helloween, which we are still currently on. But I even sometimes like to divide up when, you know, Andy first came into the band to what's been going on recently. Because like I said, the past few years, Helloween has found this formula to become such a solid band. They're a power metal band, but at the same time, they also, again, they take so many different influences and elements that they've, again, had over the years, because these musicians in this band have just long careers, multiple projects. They just, again, worked so hard releasing, you know, different albums and not, you know, just being part of Helloween, some of them. There are 2 members that have been, and that is Michael Weikath and Marcus Grosskopf. I probably butchered their names, sorry about that, but those 2 are your only original Helloween members and really the guys that have kind of stayed to Helloween. But Andy Duris has had numerous projects, and Sasha, the guitar player, has done, you know, different things too. And then the drummer in Helloween, Löble, has done so much stuff too, and I totally forgot his first name right now. I could cheat and look at, you know, the album, but I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to say these guys have definitely worked out there. They've put themselves, they've been dedicated to this music, and this recent album, My God-Given Right, is just a testament to what Helloween's been doing. A consistent band overall. Their last album, Straight Outta Hell, came out in 2013. I reviewed that album. You can check it out on my YouTube channel. But if you want a quick, you know, synopsis of what I believe that album is just a solid release from Helloween, staying consistent. It's just good power metal music. It's something that you can enjoy. It's got catchy riffs, uplifting, triumphant choruses. That's what Helloween is all about, and that's what they've come to just kind of stick to. I know in the 90s period it was it was challenging for bands of the 80s that had a style to kind of shift in the 90s because the music industry was completely changing. And in the 2000s, I believe Helloween has finally kind of retained something, and they're able to work off of that and create and continue. And you've seen that. And I'm even going to say maybe Seven Sinners, the album before Straight Outta Hell, is where Helloween, in my opinion, just really started to come together and write some great metal music. It was consistent. It had a certain quality to it. And they're a band that it seems like with each new album, and as they get older, they sound just as good in a way. And I'm going to bring up, it's going to be extremely difficult for some people that love the classic Helloween with maybe, you know, Kai Hansen, Walls of Jericho's period, or people that are, you know, Keeper of the Seven Keys fanatics, and to them that's the only period of Helloween that, you know, you give a damn about. But to me, I really like to focus on this current lineup of Helloween and what they've been able to do. They've done such an amazing job just being consistent. That's something that you don't get a lot of times from bands. And maybe it's also, you could say, a downfall in a sense, if that's the way you want to approach it. But I have to say with Helloween, I really liked what they did on this new album, My God-Given Right, The tracks on this album are brilliant in my opinion, well put together songs. Lyrically, we can, throw around, is this philosophical, is this, something, again, there's songs such as Stay Crazy, which are more your fun, power metal, uplifting type tracks, but then you really do have good commentary on this album, and that's, on Straight Outta Hell, you had the commentary, and I believe I brought that up in my last video about war, the whole world war system. I guess you would call it the war machine that fuels and goes around, and people kind of point this out. It's something that's brought up throughout history. In Helloween, I think, being from Germany in that period of the Cold War where you just didn't know what was going to happen, somebody could drop a bomb and boom, everything's over. That fear, I think, gives Helloween that kind of understanding when writing this music. So lyrically, I thought My God-Given Right had a lot more stronger songs about the whole, military complex, the worldwide, whole battle, war structure and mentality going on, country versus country. And then at the same time, the fun songs I thought on this album were just really good. I like the stuff on Straight Outta Hell, but in my opinion, Helloween kind of was able to continue and improve what they did with Straight Outta Hell. That was my biggest concern, I'm going to say, going into this album. I was afraid that it would be Straight Outta Hell B-sides. That's what I was possibly getting into when I bought this album, thinking, it's only been 2 years, could Helloween have just kind of gone in the studio a bit and taken everything they did on Straight Outta Hell and just said, these are the recycled parts we didn't like. But for what I was listening to, I've been listening to this album a lot, and I have to say, it is, if anything, just a great continuation, but not just taking recycled parts from Straight Outta Hell. This is really good song structures, just good overall riffs. And you get kind of that sense of the classic Helloween, the melodic guitar leads, that phrasing that makes Helloween such a unique band, and again, a pioneering band, because so many power metal bands you could point out nowadays, the modern bands, again, Helloween, they owe a huge thanks, and those bands, I'm sure, were influenced by Helloween, the classic. And this new stuff, again, like I said, it takes from what Helloween had done previously, a return, but at the same time continuing what the band has done moving forward. They have a sound that right now is very distinct. You can tell it's Helloween, and that comes from, again, I think this formula they have going that just seems to work. Now, my only two complaints on this album is, again, I brought up how I worry that Straight Outta Hell B-sides should be the title of this album. But no, for the most part, if Helloween did, kind of take ideas from that recording session, they improved it. They made it better. They really made this album, My God-Given Right, my goddamn, this is a solid album. They made it that way, okay? But I will say the bonus tracks, and this is something I've always kind of complained about with, albums sometimes, bonus tracks, we'll throw in a little rehearsals of the band. That's cool and all, but when I do listen to the bonus tracks, I can tell why they're bonus tracks. They're not horrible. They're not, the worst things I've ever heard. No, they're a lot better than most, artists you hear these days, on mainstream radio, in my opinion, especially all those shitty pop artists. But these songs definitely kind of stood out from the other ones on this album. All the 13 tracks here are brilliant. I love the song Lost in America. I think it has a great riff in it, and it also has a humorous story about the band's experience on tour. And I like when bands do that. Saxon did that a lot, writing songs about being on the road and having something crazy happening, come up with a really cool riff, really good jam, put it all together, and you got a great song. That's what Lost in America was for me. And I also like the song Living on the Edge. I thought there was a heavy Sabbath-like riff in there they threw towards the end, and it was just something that gave that song a unique flair and stood out. So again, like I said, the songs in this album, they're all solid. It's Helloween at that level of just not worrying about the album, not worrying about, oh, we should try this, we should do this. No, they just go in the studio and they're having fun, they're enjoying it, and that sometimes actually will reflect and make an album sound good. And that's why I really do think My God-Given Right is such a solid release, people. At first I was a little hesitant because I saw, I think on the internet for YouTube, they put out the singles, and bands do this a lot nowadays when they put out singles. Sometimes people will go, I don't know, is this the whole album? And they just write it, they come up with an opinion. They make a video about a single and think that's going to be the album. I didn't do that. I said, okay, I listened to My God-Given Right, the title track, and then I listened to Battles Won. And I surprisingly thought those songs, when you listen to them on the CD, they sound different. There's something about them when you actually hear them on the disc compared to your computer. There is a noticeable difference, like especially My God-Given Right. Maybe because the video was a little bizarre to me. You have the chick shooting guns at the pumpkin robots and all that stuff, and you kind of, the music is almost like put to the side for this outrageous video concept. But when I listen to the song on the album, I love it. It's got great guitar parts. I think Andy, again, his voice and the vocals that he has done in the recent years have been very consistent and very suitable for the music that Helloween's been making. So a huge shout out to Andy Duris for that. He's been doing really good there. And like I said, he's been involved in numerous projects, and he is again a rocker. He loves doing this. And the guys in Helloween, all of them love making music. It's something that they just have a true passion for. In the power metal genre, you can tell the bands that really have a passion for it because the music comes off as that triumphant, so I guess you would say unafraid, you know, just putting out really good songs and really sometimes touching songs. You know, Helloween has that, again, like I said, reflecting on very deep subject matter in our world, you know, of the whole concept of war. It's something that, you know, you can go about in very different ways. Some bands, you know, they take acoustic and they just sit around and they have their hair and they're hippies. No, Helloween actually makes a good rocking song with really good, again, emotional compositions in it. And the band too continues, and I keep saying this, I've said it numerous times in this video, they continue. They just don't say, okay, we're going to try something totally different. They maintain a really solid, powerful sound that makes Helloween, again, a veteran band. 30-something years of making music, and you're going to have the differences amongst the fan base. I understand that. I love Walls of Jericho. That's a great album. Keeper of the Seven Keys Part 1 and 2. No duh, those are really good releases. But are they going to be able to make that every time? Again, they're changing personnel. There's been lineup changes. Can you justify that? No, unfortunately you can't. I would love Helloween to make Keeper of the Seven Keys again and all that stuff, but that happened, and right now where the band is, I'm fine with it. I think it's great. There is no, as I said, I believe this is a consistent band. If I was to give the album a rating, 8 out of 10. Just like I gave Straight Outta Hell. Actually, 8.5. It's going to get 0.5. It's 0.5 better. 0.5 better than Straight Outta Hell, in my opinion. That's what I have to say. Because it just sounds, as I said, there's something that you can tell they put a little more into it where they just didn't have Straight Outta Hell B-sides. They definitely put the effort, they went in the studio, and they just put out a killer release. So people, here it is, the latest Helloween, My God-Given Right. If you have not listened to one song on this album, do yourself a favor, go do it, and then go buy the album in a real store, or else Ian Gillan will come to your house and he will scream at your mother. I read that somewhere. I thought it would be hilarious to say in the video. And I'm sure Helloween would approve. Maybe have Andy Duris come to your house and scream at your mother. There you go. So everybody, until next time, Robbie Stevens, also known as Rob the Metal Guy. If you want to check out my radio show, it's on KSN Radio every Friday, 2 to 4 p.m. All things hard rock and heavy metal. I play Helloween. I play the old stuff, the new stuff. Though I'm not a huge fan of Pink Bubbles Go Away, I have to be honest. That's an album I rarely would play, but maybe, who knows. Alright people, later, hope you enjoyed this video, and hopefully I will have more videos of albums coming towards you this summer and moving forward. Goodbye.